an important ally on an important mission. The first official visit to Iran by the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, comes at a critical time for the region. At the invitation of President Hassan Rouhani, the two leaders discussed increasing economic and political cooperation.
Considering the importance of regional security, especially in the waterways in the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz and the Sea of Oman, we decided to have more talks and cooperation for the security of the whole region.
The recent crisis between Iran and the United States was also on the agenda. Qatar is one of a few countries in the region that maintains a close relationship with Washington and Tehran.
This visit comes at a very critical time in the region. We've agreed that the only solution is to diffuse escalations among all parties. And we've also agreed that dialogue and only dialogue is the only route to any solution to any crisis.
The Emir also met Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei before ending his one-day visit. The Supreme Leader stressed Tehran's readiness for wider cooperation with regional states, as the current political climate is very sensitive in the region because of U.S. policies. While the diplomatic talks were underway, this was the scene outside the British Embassy in Tehran, the chants calling for the embassy to be shut down. On Saturday, the British ambassador Robert McCair was briefly arrested after attending what he said was a vigil for the victims of Iranian missile strike that brought down a Ukrainian airliner, killing 176 people. Iran summoned the ambassador, accusing him of attending an illegal protest, where demonstrators voiced their anger at the initial denials that Iranian forces had shut down the plane. After days of denials, Iran's Revolutionary Guard finally admitted mistakenly shooting down the Boeing 737 on Wednesday morning. The British Foreign Office described the ambassador's arrest as a breach of international law. He's now joining calls for dialogue to reduce tensions and finding a diplomatic way forward. The Qatari Emir's visit here is being seen as the first sign of a real diplomatic effort to ease the hostilities between Iran and the United States. But it's too early to say whether or not it will have the desired outcome. Dorsa, Jabbari, Aljazeera, Tehran.
Well, FEISAL ISTRABADI has served as Iraq's ambassador to the United Nations, and he says that Iran is being compelled from both inside and out to ease the crisis.
I think everyone in the region wants a de-escalation rather than an escalation of the tensions. If some of the reports are true, that even includes Iran, and I believe it also includes the President of the United States. There may be those around him who want an escalation with Iran, but I don't think the President wants to be involved in another war in the Middle East. So I think a way forward makes sense through intermediaries, and I think the Emir of Qatar is an obvious place to go for that sort of intermediation. The issues, of course, are more complicated now. Before it was from the Iranian perspective, sanctions and the fact that the United States withdrew from the nuclear agreement. The United States wants to negotiate a better nuclear agreement, but it also wants assurances about Iran's regional activities, which are detrimental to U.S. interests and often detrimental to the states involved, such as Iraq, such as Lebanon. But now with the assassination of Qassem Soleimani, I think those efforts will be much more complicated. It's possible that because the Iranian regime is feeling international pressure, but also pressure domestically, that it may now find an opportune time to find a way to de-escalate